e-procurement systems that comply with any requirement prescribed by national legislation. So there seems to be a level at which probably when it comes to financial management, so the proposal will come from top, the national government down. But yes, there's an issue of legislation there, and this matter, as Bwana Mutuku rightly said.
May I say that just briefly before Mheshimiwa speaks?
Yes.
The national legislation envisages the Public Finance Management Act and the Public Finance Management Regulations. And the Honorable Senator was saying, look, have you had a look at Section 77 of the PFMA? These are policies that are being enacted by people who seemingly are blind to the existing law. And that's why the National Treasury ought to demolish, remove away that whole floor of foreigners that are there every single day coming up with the policies that are supposed to protect their interests, as opposed to our people. The PFMA is there. And that's what that law, constitutional provision envisages.
Yet we still, the government still carries the burden, the national government carries the burden of the national debt and trying to fund through debt, budget and everything. We're talking about devolved units which account for about 10 to 15% of the national debt. Isn't it correct that yes, the president and treasury carry that burden and they can only, probably, it is right for them to push down some of these policies?
Thank you, Dimori. One, let's agree that in fact in most of the devolved units, the National Assembly has been left with the element of policy making. But that does not mean the counties has no power to negotiate anything that is pushing them to the wall. And that's why an element of public participation is key, even to any policy that is entitled to regulate anything at the devolved unit. And in this case, the governors has an arm which is COG, which does engage in these levels of engagement with the national government and any signage that is within. And if, as of now, it seems the governors were not, were not even consulted by the time of imposing this kind of policy, it tells you that even though there is a procedure, that procedure has not been followed. And therefore, as much as the national government has that window of making policy, it does not mean that it can just push policies even without involving the counties in terms of public participation. Therefore, the national government is wrong, pushing to the lot a policy that they are not at any level consulted with the devolved unit. And this case, this one, I just want to say, yes, the Constitution, the way it is, it gives every level its mandate. And what the head of state should do, even though he thinks that things should be done this way, there is a lot of consideration. And one is that element of signals, because signals are not all over. And in case we want to implement this kind of procedure, it's a procedure that can affect those service providers of such areas without signals. And at this point in time, when the governor say no, it started to be no. And you can take them to court, and they can still insist they go their way. And there's nowhere you can take them, because those are independent units. And I don't think that, in fact, things should be forced to them. And that's why there is an element of negotiating. So they should sit and agree. And where the counties feels this will pin them down, they should be heard.
Wakili, what do we say about the kind of tone that the president and the CS Treasury are using on this matter, that there's no going back on this, this has to happen? Is that a violation of the provisions of this constitution, that even the kind of tone they're using at county governments?
Absolutely. I agree with you. Fred, this is condescending. It is totally unacceptable. You're supposed to be sitting on the table. What